So today we're not playing Terraria. Instead, you probably have noticed we are playing Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is a very old game I used to play when I was about 6, 7 maybe? I don't remember when, but it was a long time ago. But this was definitely my favorite game, and my first game I've ever played, I think. I don't think I've ever really finished it. My brothers, Hunter and Mason, and my mother, and I think my father too, have played it and finished it, but I'm not sure. I was really young at the time, so I never really got to. It was my first game I ever really played, so I never really finished it. So I got it yesterday, and I was playing around a little bit yesterday, and today when I got home from school, and I decided to, you know what? Why not play some on my channel? See if you guys like it, because it's an old game. It's only $10 on Blizzard. Super fun game. Not like the best graphics you'll ever see, probably noticed, but it's very fun game. I think personally, I still enjoy it a lot. It's an amazing game. Excuse me, I'm drinking some water right now. My throat's a little bit dry. But anyways, it's a very fun game. The character, like the people here, like Wariv, they're all voice acted and everything. They all have voice act. Like they always see, like they actually say what, you know. So anyways, as you probably have noticed, like I said, all these characters, Geed, Garci, Wariv, Kashia, they're all voice acted and everything. At least I think they're all voice acted. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I've talked to a few of these guys. But I've talked to a few of these guys, and these they were voice acted, and they did follow what they said in the dialogue. So that's definitely a plus. This is an older game, yes, but it's still a very fun one. The characters are not. They are similar in a way to the ones in Diablo 3, but their skills are a bit different, like a good bit different. The Necromancer here can kill people, or at least when he kills an enemy, he can bring them back with Raised Skeleton. Reanimates a skeleton warrior from a target corpse. It's not very powerful right now, but it's still it is my favorite skill I have out of all the skill sets. The Necromancer has, let's see here, let's check this. No, that's not what I want. In the game, there are 3 classes you can be for each one. The Necromancer, you can either be a summoner, a poison and bone spells, or a cursor. The basics of all the 3 is summoning is basically, you know, summoning like the undead, creating golems to fight for you, and then I think also making them stronger, or like, you know, making your people you can summon stronger. Poison is the damage and defense, so you can make like bone walls or whatever to defend you, and you can make you can poison your weapons so that they do more damage. You can also make you can like poison other monsters so they get more damaged, or you can make it so that they take more damage. Or no, that's curses. I'm sorry. But you know, this is like the attack kind of thing, and then while curses basically does what you think, it improves. What it does is that it sends debuffs or negative effects on enemies, so they take more damage. They take more physical damage, magical damage. They lose health over time, and so on, and all that stuff. My favorite is the summoning one, because, well, you know, it's the most interesting to me. I do like to go up in front and attack people, but I also like to have an army of people next to me and helping me fight. Excuse me. Anyways, I prefer the summoning one, which I will put points in other classes too. Just because you put points in one class doesn't mean you can't put points in the other classes. The other classes do have useful skills that I like to use. I don't remember them all on top of my head because I didn't get very far in the game, being level-wise too. The highest level I got to was level 12, I remember correctly, or if I remember correctly. But when level 12 is, crap, let me see. My favorite one here for summoning was the Skeletal Mage, which is basically a skeleton, but what they do is, there are 3 types of them. There's ice, fire, and poison. It's random, so when you summon one of them, you'll get a random one. So for example, if you summon a fire one, they'll burn your enemies, while poison will poison them, and excuse me, ice would, you know, slow them down and everything. You know, basic things like that. You know, but there's not many like skeletons you can summon. You can summon like, you know, physical ones that, like, you know, attack the enemies physically, while you can also make ones that that are mages that, you know, throw spells at them. While golems you can make a lot more, being the clay golem. I think he's more a defensive one, not much attack, but so he's there. He's your first golem you make. This just increases your speed and, you know, health to all your golems you have. There's the blood golem. I don't like him very much, but what he does is he has a lot more health. Or no, he has a lot more health, so he's more of a, you know, healthy kind of one. But the problem with him though is that the damage he takes, you also take. So if he takes 10 damage, you take 10 damage. So the amount of damage he takes, you take. And I think the same thing goes for him. If you get hurt, he gets hurt, I think. Steals damage. Yep. That's basically what it does. Not my favorite, but I guess some people use him. There's the Iron Golem, which he's basically just made of iron, which, you know, makes sense. We don't want, okay. And the last one is a Fire Golem, which does fire damage, which, you know, all that makes sense. So I much prefer the summoning area, to be honest, but that's just me. Also, here's the quests. If you hit Q, this will show up. So there's multiple acts, and in each act there's about 6 or so quests, and there's like 5 acts. So this game isn't, like, I wouldn't say it's long, but I would definitely say it's a very fun game, and it's a worthwhile one playing if you wanted, like, just a little game you want to play, and you wanted to if you wanted to play all the classes too, then it definitely it's quite a long game. If you want to play all the classes and see what they can do and all that stuff, it's really fun. So anyways, let's go over the characters here. Geed.
I hope I never have to lay my eyes on one of your kind again.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Recent troubles in this area have brought out all kinds, I see. Nevertheless, your money's good. A spare weapon, some gold, a small gem is all I want in exchange for the equipment you'll need on whatever quest you might undertake. No, don't be shy. All of my items are guaranteed for life and come with a 2-day warranty. So,
you could probably tell this guy, Geed, is sort of like, you know, the gun guy, or, you know, he sells guns from Borderlands 2, or like all the Borderlands games anyways. He's very big on selling things. He's the more general kind of merchant. Like, he'll sell a bunch of like, just, I wouldn't say random stuff, but more mutual stuff. But he is more for, in my opinion, the warrior or the Viking, or, well, the paladin and the Viking. I don't know what their names are, but this is not stuff for a necromancer. He's not much of armor type, like heavy armor and, you know, wielding axes and schmitters and all that stuff. So we will not be talking to him, but he does have this gamble thing where you can buy these items. So if you buy one of these items, they cost more money. But as you can see, it's called a schmitter, and it's unidentified. So what that means is that it means as an extra ability that you don't know what it is. So my wand here has +1 to raise skeleton. So it means I can raise an extra skeleton. So if I increase my, if I were to take this off, I can no longer use the ability summon a skeleton. As you see, that was taken away because I don't have the ability to summon a skeleton, and that was because this gave me that ability. So I put it back on. I can summon a skeleton. That's a ability that wands give you as a necromancer, which you can do, which is really nice if you wanted to use those. But if you see an unidentified weapon or some kind, you use the red scroll, which is the scroll of identify, and what it does is that it gives you, what it does is it unlocks an ability of it that is random. So it unlocks a random ability depending on what it is. So for, you won't get the +1 skeleton rise, like, or whatever, like +1 skeleton mount or something like that on those lines if you had a sword. So if you had a sword and you were to use scroll of identify, you would not get an extra skeleton thing, because necromancers don't use don't use swords, and paladins don't raise the dead and everything, and so on. So it's only common sense. Darcy here,
I'm Charcy, the blacksmith
Charcy.
here in camp. It's good to see some strong adventurers around here. Many of our sisters fought bravely against Diablo when he first attacked the town of Tristram. They came back to us true veterans, bearing some really powerful items. Seems like their victory was short-lived, though. Most of them are now corrupted by Undario.
Okay, so a couple names that you probably noticed: Diablo and Andrael, so on, and sisters. So let's start with Diablo. So Diablo in I don't know where, but I think it's Spanish. Diablo is the devil, basically, if you didn't know that. As for Andriel, she's an important character we're going to deal with later. She's one of the bosses we're going to deal very soon, but that's not right now. We'll deal with that later. And as for the sisters are people that works. I believe they're like an important organization of some kind, which is basically people for girls like down there, like they're mages kind of thing, where they protect people. Or either that, I'm not sure. They either them or they're a group of archers that are girls that are called whatever they're called. I don't remember. Or sisters, the sisters. But I think that's what they are. They're archers that are a bunch of archers that work together, and you can hire them later on in the game, pretty soon in the game actually. You'll figure out what I'm talking about in a second here. So Charcy here is a bit more for selling more physical weapons, being bows and crossbows for archers, which you can or like hire archers and all that stuff. You can use that for them, or you can also use I think there's also a class for archers and so on. But she also sells swords, axes, two-handed axes, and so on, and all that good stuff. She also sells arrows. She sells javelins and more heavy armor, as you clearly see. So she's a bit more for armor and all that stuff. You can also repair. So if you had so my stab, for example, here it says durability of 16 out of 16. So if that was if my durability of that was to be going low, so if it was about like 1 or something, like 1 or 2, and I wanted to repair it, so I wanted to keep it, then I could talk to her about that and click this button on the bottom left here. Either repair all equipment or repair, which allows me to click on that and repair it if I wanted to do that. Which items I think can break. They won't like break forever necessarily, but what they'll do is they'll either be unusable, or they'll just do like no damage or something like that, and their effects will be null or like won't work or anything, something like that. With this girl here, Kashaya, this is one of the sisters, I think. she will let you be able to hire more people later on, or the sisters, but that will be later. And then, oh, here, this is one of the sisters. That's what they look like. This girl with a bow here. She's one of the characters or people you can use later down the road, which will be soon. It'll definitely be soon. Okay. Okay. Well, that's great. My laptop is very hot right now, apparently. I don't know why. So if you're hearing a fan or some kind of buzzing in the background, that's that. So anyways, you'll be able to hire them later, but we're not going to be able to hire them now, so that's going to be a thing. And here's the last character, Akara, and that's going to be in this arc here, arc 1. She's going to give us the first quest. So let's listen to what she has to say.
I am Akara, High Priestess of the Sisterhood of the Sightless Eye. I welcome you, traveler, to our camp, but I'm afraid I can offer you but poor shelter within these rickety walls. You see, our ancient sisterhood has fallen under a strange curse. The mighty citadel, from which we have guarded the gates to the east for generations, has been corrupted by the evil demoness Andariel. I still can't believe it. But she turned many of our sister rogues against us and drove us from our ancestral home. Now the last defenders of the sisterhood are either dead or scattered throughout the wilderness. I implore you, stranger, please help us. Find a way to lift this terrible curse, and we will pledge our loyalty to you for all time.
And there we go.
There is
So,
a place of great evil in the wilderness.
Never mind.
Kostra's rogue scouts have informed me that a cave nearby is filled with shadowy creatures and horrors from beyond the grave. I fear that these creatures are massing for an attack against our encampment. If you are sincere about helping us, find the dark labyrinth and destroy the foul beasts. May the Great Eye watch over you.
Okay, so that is Akara. She will be a very big, important character for quest giving. That was our first quest. We're going to go into a cave and deal with the monsters, which I think is where I'm going to be ending the video for now, because I'm going to be making a video right after this one. I'm going to be posting this one today, hopefully, and then have the next video be posted in the morning, or tomorrow morning around 8ish or so, so do expect that. But anyways, so this character is, or she sells more stuff for mages and, necromancers. Necromancers being using wands, while mages using short staffs and long staffs. All good stuff. So, and also, another thing we're going to get is these two books, the Tome of Town Portal and the Tome of Identify. So these carry these little scrolls, being the Scroll of Identify, which, as I said, identifies our weapons and their abilities and everything if they're unidentified. While the Scroll of Town Portal makes a portal wherever you're standing, and what that does is that when you enter the portal, you're taken back to the town or the village, and then you can do whatever you want, sell your inventory, put stuff in your stash, and then go back, and then the portal will disappear. So we want these two. They only can hold 20 scrolls, so it's a good amount, but then again, I have a few, I have 2 of each, just in case. One of the blue books in my stash for my other character. I want to check some out real quick. No? Okay. So I have, what I have is 2 of the Identify books, and I have 2 of the Town Portal ones. I put one of the Town Portal ones in here and have 2 Identify ones on me, because you identify stuff a lot. That's just me, though. You can also do it so that you don't have to do that. You can just carry your Town Portal book around with you, and then teleport here, have one of those the identify books in here and whatever else you want to put in here. A lot of gold too, which what happens when you die, which is why this is here. If you die, what happens is you come back to the town, and then all your stuff is left wherever you died. So you must go back and get it, and then be able to survive, like, you know, enemies around that killed you. So it's good to have weapons and like armor and all that stuff in case you die, so you can go back and get it back, and then put your stuff back in your private stash, so that you can, you know, you can have an extra set of, you know, whatever for in case if, you know, that happens. So anyways, we're gonna look for the den of in the wilderness outside of the rogues camp. Okay, so this is the rogue camp, by the way, if you were wondering. So now we're gonna exit the rogues camp, and then we're gonna exit the rogue camp, and we're gonna look for this place. We're entering the Bloodmoor. There we go. So this is our skeleton ability. We can summon on the skeletons here from their dead bodies. Currently we can only have one right now, so if we just summoned another one, that one would die and we would recreate this skeleton here. So we can't have any more right now, but we can upgrade that, however, with when we level up, we can upgrade how many we have, and the maximum amount you can have altogether is 3. But you can also have a stronger wand. So this one gives us +1, while others you can get +2. But the problem is, though, with it is that if you get a, you know, for example, a +4 or something like that, which I don't think there is, you can't get 4. You can only get 3. You can only summon 3 skeletons. So basically, what happens if you have +3, or like if you can summon 3 skeletons without a wand to help you with that, then that wand really does, that ability doesn't do anything for you, because no matter what, you can only summon up to 3 skeletons. So that wand is not useful to you in any way. It's just kind of an ability that's just there, that's not helping you. So keep that in mind for if you do play this game and all that stuff. There we go. And another thing, I will be having difficulty picking up items because the cursor in this game, like in this you know, this cursor, it looks cool and all, but the thing is, though, is that it's not really like on point. So if I have the cursor directly under like an item or whatever, it's not actually on that item. So for example, if I put it on the scroll, it's still on the fallen corpse, which is wants me to summon a, you know, re-summon, like make a skeleton, which I can't do. So I'm gonna have a little bit of difficulty trying to get it to on the scroll of town portal. So if you notice that, then I'm sorry about that, but that's just kind of the game being old and having difficulty with. Oh, there we go. But that's just the game and having difficulty with, like, you know, having an exact point where, you know, the cursor is. So anyways, we have leveled up, as you guys can see. So we're gonna get another point in this so we can get another skeleton. So let's see here. Boop. So now we can have 2 skeletons. You also noticed that if or you probably have noticed anyways, that if I have 2 skeletons, their health bar is gone, which can be a little bit annoying sometimes. So you don't know like how much more health the, you know, your they have, but that's okay, because they'll, over time, if they don't fight anything, they'll actually heal themselves, which is really nice. So we're also going to want more mana too. Going to put a lot of energy, a lot of points in energy for mana. But yeah, and if you haven't noticed the health bar, then when one of them die, you can certainly look at the top left corner, because it'll say the health bar of the your minion. But if you have 2 or more, then you can't see that health bar, which is kind of annoying sometimes, but I don't mind too much. Oh, and also, you probably have noticed that I'm wearing armor now, that's another thing that's pretty cool. So if you put on armor, for each for the different classes, their armor is animated differently. So for the Necromancer, this is what his armor looks like. So if he has any armor on, this is what it'll look like. But for other characters, if you put this armor on, for a paladin, for example, instead of this armor being on him, it'll be paladin armor. So if we put on the same armor, it'll look different, because that's because they're different classes.
Halt. You should complete Akara's quest before venturing further. Search for the den in the wilderness closer to camp.
Okay. So anyways, if you want to, you can certainly go past Flavie here. Flavie, if you wanted to, but it's probably not a very good thing to do. I'm just kind of, there it is. So I'm also going to, I'm only doing this to introduce this little part. But it's probably not good to venture around this area until you finish the first quest, but you certainly can if you wanted to. That's up to you, but I would not recommend it. So anyways, if you were wondering what this little thing is, this is a portal. So if you click on this, you can go back to the rogue encampment or any of those other areas, as long as you click on them. So they're kind of like points of where you can teleport to if you activate them, which is kind of a useful little thing there in case you needed them. And if you want to get to a certain area or whatever, then you can certainly teleport there if you activated those portals, which they will normally be when you first enter that area. You will see them, so it's kind of hard to miss them if you look at the map. Being if you hit tab and you go to this, bring this thing up, it'll make it a little bit harder to see, but that's alright. It's worthwhile. But anyways, this is gonna be this is the Den of Evil, which is where we want to be. And there we go.
Within this place.
That also happens. The characters will actually say stuff from time to time. Sometimes they'll do it when a quest activates or whatever. When a quest activates, it'll say it on the side here, and you can click it, and the quest will change. So now it says kill all the monsters in the den. So that's what we're gonna do. That's skills. So we're gonna use that cap. All right, so we're gonna run around and kill some monsters now. Get some levels. And if you guys do like this game, by the way, I will do a playthrough of it. If you don't, then I will not. If you want, I can also do the other classes if you wanted to. I'll do a short little video of the other classes, of course, show you what they are, basically what they're about and everything. But I personally enjoy the Necromancer the most, because he's just always been my favorite when I was younger. He's always been my favorite. Although, as you probably noticed, I like to be a bit more like up close and personal at first. But that's because that's really the only way I can attack right now, because I can't rely on my minions here, or my skeletons, to do everything for me. Because if I do that, then what will happen is I will die, because they're not always protecting me, because they're sometimes little jerks, or sometimes little idiots anyways. There we go. So sometimes they can be a bit of a stupid idiot, and not protect me while I am not fighting back and everything. So it's easier to attack at first if you're just focusing on upgrading your how many skeletons you can summon and everything if you're a necromancer. That, and you've probably noticed, if you look back a little bit there, when I had the skill shrine under me, or that hand symbol thing, I summoned 3 skeletons and not 2. If you're wondering why, that's because what the skill shrine does is upgrade your skills by 1 point. And the only skill I have right now is the skeleton one, so basically I could summon up to 3 skeletons. Another thing is you can also see that green bar on top of my skeleton's health, and that's because he is alone. So you can actually see what his health bar is now. He's alone. When I summon another skeleton though, you can no longer see it, which can be annoying sometimes. And also, I know I'm jumping everywhere right now, but please excuse me. I've upgraded my level of my summoning thing, so now I can summon 3 skeletons. Alright, let's also put points in there so I can get more mana. And as I said before, if I take this off, I only have 2, because without this, I cannot summon the 3rd skeleton. But with it, I can summon 3. And at some point, when I upgrade it enough, I can summon up to 3 without the ability to summon another one, which will be very nice. Come on, boys. So if you see that blue zombie in the middle there, over there, you'll probably also notice that his health is... Uh-oh, my shield's broken. His health is, or his health bar, or name, is orange. Orange is yellowish. And that means that he is a bit more stronger if you hadn't realized that just by his color. Which he can be a bit of an asshole at first. Which is a side note that if you counter a bit more stronger monster, that it's not like quite a boss or stuff like that, crap, they'll be different colored or whatever. But they also do like damage, do more damage, and they also do different effects. So that one did lightning, fire, lightning, poison, and slowed you, I think, as well. I'm not sure. So that can be a bit of annoying first monster to deal with when you first enter here. So be careful when you enter this place. So let's put that on because that's not bad. Also, you've probably noticed that on the top right corner there, it says a little icon of a guy and his shield is like orange and reddish. And that basically means that my shield has broken. So what that means is that I no longer get +4 defense and this 20% chance to block. What that means is that that is broken and I can't use it. It's basically like nothing is even there at all, in simpler terms. So let's also identify that. Let's use a portal, and let's head back. Okay, so right now I'm going to sell some stuff to Akara here.
Good day.
Trade. Oh wait, no, trade. No. Trade. Okay. It's unidentified. If you're wondering why I'm identifying this stuff before I sell and everything, that's because you get more money if you identify something. Because with the extra ability, they are worth more money. Oh, so it's a paladin weapon. Interesting. So, anyways, yeah, if you identify it, you get more money for it. Let's also sell that. I don't need that. Alright, let's buy that, and let's also buy that. So let's buy some of these, and buy some of these. No. Yes. Okay, there we go. Let's put that stuff in there. So I have 8 portal scrolls in there. I have 9 now, and I have 8 identify scrolls in there. Also, if you were wondering how these work, if you're playing, I got a little confused as well. If you were wondering how to use these, you right-click on them. So you right-click on this or the scrolls, and you just right-click on a red identify scroll or the book, and you left-click on the item you want to identify. Same with the portal. The portals. What you do is you just right-click, click with it, and then what it does is it just makes a portal wherever. You can also use this ability that lets you to, so you use that and you right click, then it uses one of those scrolls you have on you to summon a portal. And now that I come back through that portal, I come back here, which is nice. So it's good to have those scrolls of identify and scrolls of portal to town. Those are very nice to have on you at all times. 5 more monsters left. So your little quest log thing will appear, by the way, from time to time when you do something, or if there's like, for example, in this quest line or quest, if you have like killed a certain amount of monsters or whatever in the area, and it, have 5 left, for example, or something like that, it'll say, oh, hey, by the way, you only have 5 left. So then you're finished the thing, which is a really neat thing to have. So, oh, there's 1 left. Okay. But I can also click Q, as I said before, have that pop up so I can quickly read it and then put it away if I need to read something real quick, make sure I'm doing something right, or to see how many monsters are left, for example, and stuff like that. And this also occurs for I think every I think that's for every
Is that enough to earn the rogue's trust?
I think that happens for every quest, or not quest, cave area. If you defeat all the monsters, then what happens is that it'll like be all light up and everything, and also, or let's continue with that. So I'm not sure, but I think that whenever when you kill all the monsters in a cave area or that kind of stuff, what'll happen is it'll get lit up anyways, and it'll be all nice and colorful. Well, not colorful, but like, you know, lit up and everything. Which is kind of cool. I like that. But also another thing is that this shrine here has actually been replenished. So they will regenerate every so often, and you can come back and pick it up if you had so wanted to. Just, you know, if you're in a cave or whatever and you found this shrine of experience, you can just come back later on and pick it up again, which is a really nice little thing for the game. No, I cannot. So let's do this. Let's do the town of... There we go. That's a little use. That's useful. So anyways, I'm going to finish up this video, finishing up on the quest I just did, and then I will end the video, and I will make another one right after. So let's listen to what Akara has to say.
You have cleansed the den of evil. You've earned my trust, and may yet restore my faith in humanity. Your reward is training in the skill of your choice.
Okay, thank you, Akara. So as a reward, what we got is a skill point, so that we can choose any skill we want. We can upgrade the raised skeleton. However, if I upgrade it again, all it does is allow me to summon 3 skeletons without the wand, but they also do a little bit more damage and have a little more defense, being like 6 points, or, you know, like 10 points more health or whatever. But while also that actually does the same thing. So these is, if I increase the skeleton mastery, increases the life and damage of the skeletons and revived creatures. So they're basically the same thing, but this is a bit more universal, being if I did it another point in this, what'll happen is that for raised skeletons specifically, they do more damage, health, they have more health, and they have more defense. But while if I did this, then it'll increase the skeleton mages. It'll increase the skeleton mages' health, damage, and defense, which will be down road and everything. But I prefer to have raised skeletons, so that if I find a better wand, I can use that wand over this one, because all this one does is +1 skeleton, which doesn't do anything for me now, but the plus 50% damage to undead might be useful, but if I find something better than the one I have right now, then I can use that one. So anyways, let's put that in the bank, and let's also find who I need to talk to next. Gotcha. Okay, so we're going to talk to Kashia when I get back next video. So anyways, and I will be making the next video right after that's a little weird, but I will be making that video right after I finish this one. So anyway, guys, if you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. That support just shows me that you guys like the videos. If you guys do, then that's very appreciated. If you guys do like, comment, and subscribe, and so on, that just goes. It just helps me so much more than you think it does, and so on. It just helps me more than there are screens on my screen right now. But anyways, like I said, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.